Hello and welcome to the Enjoy an Album podcast live on YouTube and all your favourite podcast apps. Thank you for downloading. People would never download, they stream.
Yeah, thank you for downloading this to your iPod, which is still commercially available in shops.
Thank you for listening to this on your Microsoft Zune.
Your creative zen.
I'm Liam With Now, he's Christopher MacArthur Boyd. This week we are covering Stranger in the Alps by Phoebe Bridgers.
That's right. Just before we get to that, last week we covered The Libertines, up the bracket, and someone messaged me about it, long-time listener. Emily said, I was a stylist in 2014 for Libertines. And I said, did you have any gossip? And she didn't get me it in time for last week's episode, but she said some really good gossip. She said, here's the gossip anyway. The stylist's two main clients were the Libertines, an Irish pop rock band, The Script. This always surprises a lot of people. It also really surprised people to learn that the Libertines work with a stylist in the first place. When I started the studio, we were working on a lot of projects with The Script, and they were really great clients, easy to work with, and kind to the whole team. Though we had a real struggle to get them clothes when we would email brands, many of which would never lend or gift because The Script are just not considered cool.
Which is true, isn't it? The Script are, I'd forgotten that they existed, but they are, that's a lame-o noughties throwback.
Thing is, it was our job to update their image. It was a daily struggle, and when the Libertines did their big
daily struggle, I just imagine like coming home from work, like, oh my God, I had to try and dress The Script again today. Jesus, it's so hard, it's so much work. The boys won't wear clothes. They're nudists.
Just nude. And then the Libertines did the big comeback concert, and we had to ask around brands to see what they could get. Everyone was desperate to dress them. This super cool designer called Heidi Slimane, who was head of Yves Saint Laurent at the time, was begging us to let them design bespoke looks. We said yes because it was a crazy offer, but then he later revealed he was only interested in designing looks for Pete and Carol, but not the other two members of the band.
Which is something we covered in the episode. The overlooked other Libertines members.
Yeah, the bass player's like a Burton's menswear blazer who came to life.
Yep.
We obviously couldn't dress half the clients, so my boss had to turn down one of the coolest designers at the time because he was being a twat. So we took the second best offer, which was we went to a shopping spree at Burberry for each member of the Libertines, literally just going to Burberry and having any and everything they want for free. Only none of them would go. So we had to instead send our team to guess what they might want. That is absolutely crusher patter from Emily. She said, I'm not sure if 2022 Pete Doherty champion at Margate breakfast would be offered bespoke Yves Saint Laurent or Burberry shopping.
Yeah, Burberry. I mean, Burberry came back round, wasn't it? Because Burberry
came back.
Burberry was like, the quote unquote chav aesthetic for years, and then it sort of swang back to total posho.
Swang right round like a bloody game of what's that thing you do in your back garden? Swing ball.
And Pete Doherty was too good for Burberry. Didn't want to go down, but then still took their money.
It's the thing about showbiz. Be careful who you don't play swing ball with on the way up, because they will swing right back round on the way down.
You know which balls have been swinging particularly well this week? Mine, because I use Manscaped. This podcast is brought to you by Manscaped Grooming. Continuing our sponsorship for another week. Thank you very much to them. They sent me and Chris their products a few weeks ago. We have used them. Chris is wearing his Manscaped boxers today. Are you going to show them? Here we go. There you go. Manscaped. They are genuinely very comfortable boxers.
Something for the mums there.
Something for the pervy old mums.
If you like belly pubes, check out Christopher's belly.
You need to get the lawnmower on your belly pubes, my guy.
No, it's just for the balls.
Just for the balls. I'm continuing to live my Manscaped life. The lawnmower, fantastic bit of kit. It's gone. Clean as a whistle. It whistles when I walk.
If you're a man and you want smooth balls, check it out. If you're maybe you're looking for a Christmas present for your dad, get him smooth ball lawnmower by Manscaper.
You've got the
nose hair trimmer.
The weed whacker.
See if you're having a difficulty having conversation with your dad because his nose hair looks like a daddy longlegs is trying to escape from his very nostrils. Get one of these, man. I haven't used it yet, but I can't wait because I've got this one weird long white hair coming out my ear, and I can't wait to use Manscaper.
And you can get 20% off with the code ALBUM20. Make sure you do that, because otherwise the Manscaped people don't know that this advert has been a success.
Yeah.
And then they will leave the sponsorship, and then my bald hair will grow back.
I mean, buy new batteries for that.
I won't be able to use it anymore because it'll make me too sad.
Oh yeah, it'll make it sad. But yeah, please use the code if you're doing that. A good thing if you can't figure out what to get somebody for Christmas, just get them that.
Yeah, it comes in a cool little gift bag as well. It's perfect. It's perfect for the fella in your life with big old hairy balls, which
Or
God
smelly
knows.
balls, because there's also ball toner, ball deodorant.
Yep.
I have to use that because my girlfriend she's always like, they've got this little pair of shorts that I got for H&M, and they're like athletic shorts, and she's like, oh, they make your balls smell. And I'm like, all right. So don't end up like me with your friends laughing about how bad your balls smell in your little shorts. Just download it. Album 20 is the code for your balls Christmas, or your dad's balls, or your dad's Christmas.
Listen, a ball is for life, not just for Christmas. Getting the Manscaped album 20. Thank you very much to the Manscaped people for sponsoring the pod. This is a really good episode. Phoebe Bridgers, Stranger in the Alps. I know we've got a lot of people in the Enjoying Album community who are into Phoebe Bridgers. It's sort of like an album of modern times that you guys will enjoy. We found out loads of cool stuff about the album, about her. We had a good old laugh. It's a good episode. Get involved. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the other side.
Break on through to the other side.
You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where two comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time.
Here is the AV Club's introduction to Phoebe Bridgers' Stranger in the Alps. Like the best sad bastard music, Stranger in the Alps alchemizes sorrow into redemptive beauty. It's never about wallowing, but about slowly moving through it. That difference, played out over some incredible, wise beyond her years songwriting, makes it one of the best albums of the year. The AV Club gave Stranger in the Alps a perfect score.
Ooh.
So what did you think? There's no Apple blurb, there's no Rolling Stones blurb. We've gone for the AV Club. What did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, they AV clubs fell off, man. You know, I remember the good old days, a real peak AV club.
I used to, after every episode of like a TV show, I would go and watch the post-episode like essay about how it was written. It was great.
Yeah.
Haven't done it in years. It was the writing strike fucked up the AV Club.
The writing strike, really. And listen, I'm all for the strikes, man. Solidarity with all the brothers and sisters out there fighting the fight as part of the international movement of workers.
Come, brothers and sisters. Well, we're 2 minutes into the pod and I've sang the Internationale. Welcome. But what do you think of the phrase, like the best sad bastard music? She's a sad bastard.
Yeah, I'm a sad bastard.
Well, I think that you and Phoebe Bridgers have very similar output.
Yeah?
It's that sad but funny thing.
Oh, she's
you know?
very funny.
And uses humor a lot in,
Yeah.
and that's you. That's how you cope with your sadness. I
I think
guess
it's the difference between the Smiths and Radiohead, where the Smiths were always really funny, but Radiohead, they are sad, but they're not very funny about it.
Do you think the Smiths were written? I guess they were.
Super funny.
But there's a new type of sort of funny depression.
There's a vigor in it, you know.
Yeah, but it's not as witty, I guess.
You don't think the Smiths are as witty as Phoebe Bridgers?
Well, oh yeah, okay. But the point is,
The
is that-
wittiest guy who's ever been alive?
but there is like a new sort of. It's very current to be like.
Well, Morrissey was
it's like Phoebe Bridgers like does memes about having anxiety. Do you know what I mean? And you can.
You don't think that Morrissey had anxiety?
The only memes that Morrissey has ever done have been shared on like Facebook boomer pages about the fucking rowing. This is the second episode we're dragging Morrissey in a row.
Yeah, I mean, he's
every
great.
week.
I would just say Morrissey was ripping off Oscar Wilde, whereas Phoebe Bridgers is ripping off, like, not ripping off Sally Rooney, but definitely there's an analogue there.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about Freudian? She liked Sally Rooney and then ended up with Paul Mescal.
Yeah.
Who was in the Sally Rooney
He was
adaptation.
in Sally Rooney's Normal People as that Irish guy who everybody wants to fuck. Which is
Hello, Paul.
typecast.
We've got a character for you. It's an Irish guy that everybody wants to fuck.
Who is it?
Are you aware of the phenomenon of the big Irish head?
Yeah.
Paul Mescal has a big Irish head.
I think I do.
You
Got a big head.
It does kind of look like
Big Brit head.
carved out of the cliffs of Moher, but you're not Irish though, really, are you?
Why do you think that? This kind of thinks he's Irish and he thinks I'm not Irish, even though my granny's name's McKittrick.
Right. I mean, would you consider yourself Irish?
No. But I could be.
Yeah, fair enough. You've got the big Irish head.
I've got the Irish head.
What did you know about Phoebe Bridgers prior to listening to Stranger in the Alps this week?
Well, I heard that in 2019, I think.
You heard this album?
Yeah. Motion sickness. And I was like, I have motion. That really got in my craw. I'm stuck in my craw.
Got in your craw?
Yeah. And I loved it. But I never really got into the rest of it. And then I tried Punisher a wee bit. And I liked the title track of that, but I never really got into the rest of that. And then this week, I thought Liam's learning how to make a podcast on the YouTubes and all this type of stuff.
The YouTubes?
I'll give him an album. I know he's wearing a Phoebe Bridgers t-shirt right now. So I thought I'll give him an easy one and I'll listen to an album that I want to listen to. And I'm happy that I did because I've listened to more of it. But I think the first time I heard them was just when Conor Oberst teamed up with her to do the Better Oblivion Community Centre record. And I'm a big Oberst head.
You have got a big Oberst head.
Big Irish Oberst head sitting on my very shoulders, man. I love Conor Oberst so much.
Today is the best day of my life.
This is the best day?
Maybe,
First day, not best.
well, for some, the best is the first is the
day
best.
of my life. Wish I could lie before I met you.
Conor Oberst's first album was released, I think, in 1993.
Yeah.
Phoebe Bridgers was born in 1994.
But he was like 14 when that came out, man.
Yeah, but still, that's fucked
Yeah.
up, isn't it? The passage of time.
It's fucked up when a guy's shagging you and he's saying I was in a band when you were born.
Yeah.
I guess that is also true of Conor Oberst, but he wasn't being a sexual predator.
We'll come to that.
We'll come to that.
So I first heard Motion Sickness as well. It was I remember it was like Six Music's Song of the Year. Why do you always laugh when I mention Six Music?
I just think they're funny.
Yeah.
Funny guys.
They put it on as they're like one of their best tracks of like I think 2018 was when I first heard it, and then listened to the album on the
2018?
back of that. Or whenever, well, 2019, I guess.
17?
17. Okay, all right.
5-year anniversary a month ago.
Wow. Who'd have thought that this podcast would ever come under the scrutiny of actual facts? It's never bothered us before.
I'm changing my ways.
We are going to learn things.
I'm going to learn things. I'm going to teach things that I've just learned.
Yep. So I think I probably listened to that track, and actually I think probably listened to Better Oblivion Community Centre. Better Community Oblivion. What's it called?
Better Oblivion Community Centre.
It is. That's a bad name for
BOCC.
So that's the name of the album and the group.
Well, it's a collaborative
The project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad name.
I thought it was sick.
They did a Tiny Desk concert. We're fans of the Tiny Desk concerts after Usher's.
Yeah.
Watch this.
Watch this. Watch this.
So watch this. What's this? There's something in the air. Well, we should cut together Usher singing "Watch This" and Danny Elfman's "Nightmare Before Christmas." I think that would fucking go viral.
For what purpose?
For a laugh?
Oh, I love having a laugh.
Because we're funny comedian guys.
Yeah, big time.
I
think Better Oblivion Community Centre is a banger, and I also think I want to talk about why I think that she kind of broke through the zeitgeist.
Well, that Tiny Desk concert, it's pretty good. They're wearing matching Better Oblivion Community Centre shirts.
Like, is it like a jumpsuit?
No, it's just like a work shirt.
Yeah.
Probably quite similar to yours, except not the garish colour.
It's not garish.
I'm gared by it.
I think it's a kind of subdued banana.
I think it's safe to say I am a Phoebe Bridgers stan, I guess. When you like, I don't know if I'd have called myself that before this week, but when I weighed it up, I was
wearing
like,
a t-shirt.
I've got the t-shirt.
Yeah.
I've got Punisher on red vinyl.
Red vinyl.
I've got the Boy Genius EP on vinyl, and I've been to seeing Phoebe Bridgers live.
You cried when you seen them as well, didn't you?
When they sang Funeral, yeah.
When they sang Funeral.
I wasn't sure if I was going to admit that on the podcast, but
I was going to bring it up if he didn't, so I have done.
yeah, I did cry at Funeral.
What bit was it that got you?
Just the whole song is so sad. I don't know if I sat there crying for the whole song, but it was sad. It's a really sad song.
What's the bit? The pure sad bit. Jesus Christ, I'm so blue all the time. That's just how I feel. Always have and always will.
Me too, Phoebe. I'm always sad.
I'm always sad all the time. I'm a sad bastard.
Am I too blue for you? It's
Am
like the modern
I
version of
too
that.
blue for you.
I think maybe we spoke about this song when we spoke about that song. Because it's about being blue. And yeah, I'm blue, baby.
Blue till I die.
So yeah, went to see Phoebe Bridgers at Barrowlands. We spoke about that as well. I had to send a friend of the pod, It's Maria Hello, to go and meet a 15-year-old girl to buy tickets off last minute and managed to get in at the back. She was great. She came on to Down with the Sickness.
Come on, get down with the sickness. We need to get them on the pod, man.
On as guests to talk about Phoebe Bridgers.
Dan Dryman, I think his name is.
I saw an interview where Phoebe Bridgers spoke about that song. The reason she loves it is because she watched her brother perform it in karaoke, I think, wearing an orange jumpsuit. She said it was the coolest thing she'd ever seen.
That is very cool, yeah. So you have the Boy Genius EP. That's another collaborative project that she done with
Lucy Dacus and Julien Baker.
Yeah, and they're all kind of part of this extended
Music for bisexual girls with nose rings.
bisexual
Universe.
nose ring music universe.
Lucy and Yak dungarees.
Yeah.
And
Which I think's great. I love that type of stuff. I thought that
listen, I am a bisexual woman.
I'm not, but I thought Waxahachie was in them.
Is that what I wanted? She's got an amazing voice.
And I thought Angel Olsen was in them as well.
They're all part of the extended bisexual nose ring girl universe.
Who's your favourite bisexual nose ring extended universe featured member?
It's probably Phoebe's.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the queen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's top drawer in that essence at the moment, I think. I love Lucy Dacus. The Night Shift by Lucy Dacus, all-time banger.
The Night Shift by Roscoe McClelland, all-time great Twitch stream.
He is an unexpected bisexual nose ring girl.
You know what I know about it, man. But I'll tell you, I think Angel Olsen, not that they're all pals or anything, it's kind of reductive to lump them all together, but hey, listen, I'm a reductress. I think that I really like Angel. She's got that song, she's like, shut up, kiss me, hold me tight. No, shut up, kiss me, hold me tight. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. That's all you want. See, when you're singing, that's like one of these songs, but it's just such a pure thing. Shut up, kiss me, hold me tight. You're like, fucking hell, man.
It's like, kiss me. You remember that song?
So kiss me.
Again, it's just simple. Just kiss me.
Just kiss me. Or
Come
Kiss,
on.
the band.
Oh, yeah. Second week in a row, we've spoken about Kiss as well. That's our Kiss and Morrissey refs out of the way. Just the
We only know two bands.
just the Metallica one to go.
And Phoebe Bridgers covered Metallica. That's another way I found about her. The Blacklist, to celebrate the 25th anniversary or the 30th anniversary of Metallica's The Black Album. They got about 52 bands to cover all these songs.
One of the ones we've covered before. We're on that. Who was it?
Loads of people. I mean, Pup, one of my other favourite bands, they're on there. They do God That Failed, I think they cover.
Right.
But she does a cover of Nothing Else Matters. And it is stunning.
Nothing else matters. She loves a collab. Mm-hmm. Done collabs with Matt Berringer from The National.
Yes.
And I think maybe her and Taylor Swift.
Did they?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I've made that up.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a cool collab with Philip Glass. You know the
Koyanatsi fame. Is that how you pronounce that?
Koyanatsi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you Nazi. That's what you say. That's what a Cockney says when someone's being anti-Semitic.
When Morrissey walks in the pub.
Oh, you Nazi!
Come on, then. You're having a laugh with that stuff. Tenants of Zion. Get out of here.
Yeah, loves the collabs, different and her and someone was singing. There's a song I've put on the playlist before. It's because I saw Courtney Barnett and Phoebe Bridgers covered Gillian Welch's "Everything Is Free Now" during the pandemic over Zoom.
And that's your favourite country song?
Yes,
already on the playlist.
I've been getting into country.
I've been getting into country recently myself. Yeah, and there's a lot of country kind of vibes on this. I think
folky country, but like spooky gothic country.
Just the way that she tells the stories through the song is very country to me. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, before we do more exploration of the depth of the record, we have to find out whether or not the record's maker is a scumbag, and we do that via.
You know what? It's not about scumbag. It's just about
whether or not they disgust me.
Does someone's upbringing affect your enjoyment of the album? If you found out, for instance, that James Murphy, Felsidy Sound System's dad was a majority shareholder in Raytheon.
He was an accountant, not a majority.
Well, you know, you got to put it together.
Yeah, facts. So let's do it.
Secret part show. You do it fast and it feels like nice. You got no money, you got Dash Bro secret part show.
So Phoebe Bridgers' father was a film set builder.
No posh show.
No posh show. Mum had various jobs. They divorced when she was 19. She did go to a private school in LA, Sequoia Private School. But about 40% of students there receive financial aid and are there or not on fee-paying basis. She then went to the LA High School for the Arts.
Up and down this week.
Yeah, other alumni there include Haim, which I would also chuck in the bisexual nose ring girl universe.
No, I think they're a wee bit more. They always remind me of the Ashleys from Recess.
I love Haim. Have you seen Licorice Pizza?
Haven't seen
Danielle Haim.
I believe we've spoke about it about 9 times in this podcast.
I love that. I love that movie. I'm going to watch it again, actually.
Licorice Pizza is a reference to vinyl. That's what Licorice Pizza is. We've spoke about that.
You think I don't know? You think I don't know what Licorice Pizza is? I love both pizza and records. I don't like licorice.
I don't like licorice either.
The aniseed reminds me too much of Sambuca, which then I have gives me flashbacks to. Used to drink flaming Sambucas in Brannigan's nightclub in Romford.
He's an alcoholic, by the way.
When I was 16. Okay. Thank you. When I was 16, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, a flaming Sambuca. You ever had one?
I remember I used to live with this Russian guy, and it was his birthday on Halloween once, and he was dressed like a skeleton, and all his Russian friends were in the living room, and he was like, I just walked into I was quite drunk and quite sad or something. I just came into the flat, and he was dressed like a skeleton, and he had a glass that was on fire, and he was going, hey, Christopher! He's Italian.
Christopher!
He was like a Russian guy, and he was like, meet my friend, Sammy Buka, and then he just like, I bet his face caught fire. It was quite bad.
Dressed as a skeleton, drinking flaming Sambucas is very Phoebe Bridgers energy. She loves dressing like a skeleton.
Now I think about it, it might have been her. No, it was a Russian man.
I'm with my friend Sammy Booker in the living room.
Sounds like you're singing Yesterday. Christopher, all my troubles seem so far away.
So she went from LA High School for the Arts to Berkeley Music College.
Berkeley's pretty bougie.
$46,000 a year at the moment. Other alumni of Berkeley Music College include the band Big Thief, Korn, Aerosmith, Quincy Jones, Maroon 5, and Psy of Gangnam Style.
Did Psy go to Berkeley, really?
It sure did.
Wow.
Up.
40 grand a year for that.
I mean, work just what
Gangnam Style.
it's like. That was the first YouTube video to 1 billion views.
It worked. Eric Andre went to Berkeley. He studied the upright jazz bass.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think we're on the upper echelons of the middle classes here.
Here's my take. Middle class lassie, single mum, dad fucked off to an extent, but it's a kind of. I think she was like a bit of a, what's that called? A parent, a tiger mum or something.
A tiger mum.
Yeah.
Mum's
a stage mum.
Oh, like a pushy parent sort of thing.
Yeah, pushy parent. Because I was reading about her being like, at 10 years old, she was in singing competitions and stuff. And I was like, oh.
Phoebe said of her upbringing, if we'd have lived anywhere else, we'd have been solidly middle class. But in Pasadena, all my friends' parents were directors or actors.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a fucking... Listen, if your dad's a set designer in LA and he's on that SAG union wage, solidarity once again, you know, you're going to get paid pretty decent.
And probably you have like connections to, you know what I mean? You meet people. So what are we saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's not secret connection. You know,
secret connection. I mean, look, we're not. I mean, if the highest levels are your LCD sound system and your Arcade Fire, and your lowest levels are your Muddy Waters, then she's closer to Arcade Fire than Muddy Waters, isn't she?
It's intersectional, isn't it? It's intersectional. So you're talking about white privilege versus
Yeah.
rich privilege.
Yeah. She's a rich white girl.
She's not rich.
£46,000 a year for
She's
Berkeley
rich.
Music
She's
College.
rich. Yeah.
I mean, money
Maybe
does
she's
come
in
into.
debt. Maybe she was in debt.
I mean, you never know with the American.
Listen, unconclusive this week.
Inconclusive.
No conclusion.
She. But here's the thing, and this actually does come into the making of the album. Okay. She got some auditions and got some big adverts. And she did an advert for Apple,
Did she?
which you can see on YouTube.
What's the advert?
iPod. It's an iPod advert for Brazil, and it's like loads of different bands. Or it just cuts to many different people sort of playing the same song, and then it all merges together so that all around the world. It's a cover of "Gigantic" by the Pixies.
Gigantic, a big love.
Yeah, so and you can see it. It's Phoebe Bridgers, younger. She's like playing a busker, and it's her voice that's used for the whole advert.
Really? Yeah.
And it is fucking appalling, man.
bad, yeah.
It's really bad because it's first off, it's like the Pixies. Like I actually think the Pixies deserve a lot of flack here. What are you doing licensing your song to a fucking Apple advert in 2015 or whatever? You're supposed to be a fucking
We're past that
like, come on, guys.
as a culture. No, we're past shaming people for trying to make money out of the record industry.
No, but come on, you're the Pixies and it's Apple and it's a song Gigantic. The song Gigantic is about like the fetishization of like black men as well, right?
Sure.
And it's like a punk record about like the idea of white women falling in love with black men, and the song's about like big dicks.
It's intersectional, man. You know,
You can't just keep saying that.
it's
That would
done
be
me
an,
well for a couple of years.
that would be an ecumenical matter.
That would be an intersectional matter. You're talking about female self-pleasure and how important that is, but then also the
Gigantic, big,
hypersexualization
big love.
of black cocks.
And
You gotta kind of measure that up.
but yeah, the advert, like, it's shocking. The version of it is shocking. That song I found out was Kurt Cobain's favorite Pixies song, and is some people think like the root of "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Well, they invented, well, they didn't invent, but they popularized the clean verse and then loud, distorted chorus thing that not Metallica, Nirvana took to the logical conclusion.
Yeah. So the money from that advert, advert money is fucking crazy, right?
You ever been in an advert? You ever
I auditioned for adverts.
Bank of Scotland? Me and you? Was that me and you?
No. I auditioned for adverts when I was like 17, 18. I auditioned for a Skittles advert that paid something like $5,000 or something for a day's filming.
Yeah.
Didn't get it. I nearly was in an advert for Talk to Frank. Do you remember the charity, the drug charity?
You should have talked to Frank, man.
Me and Frank needed to have a fucking long conversation, okay? Yeah. I could have told him a thing or two, but I didn't get either of them. No. Came close, got a call back for Talk to Frank.
Oh.
Hey, if any advertisers are watching, I listen, as much as I just shout on the Pixies for selling their famous punk songs.
Yeah, very weird that you did that, and then get Manscaper for your fucking cock and balls at the top of the show.
For your gigantic.
I can't believe this band lent their music to.
But they're rich. The Pixies don't need money in 2015. I am poor. I am losing money on a failing podcast.
No, it's not failing. It's on and up.
It is on and up.
It's on and up.
It's going to be gigantic.
Thank you once again to Manscaper.
But yeah, so the money that she got from the advert, she said that she was basically able to take a year. I've got the quote here, actually. Advert money meant she only had to work for 5 days. I'll just say it. Phoebe said, I would have had to work at Starbucks full time to make the record that I made, and then I wouldn't have had the time to make it. The fact that I was able to work 5 days in 1 year and basically give myself my own trust fund, my rent was paid, and I could go to the studio like it was my job, gave me the freedom to explore, which makes me think a lot of dark shit about privilege.
Wow, that's Secret Posh in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anybody could have came up with a reinvention of disco music in New York in the mid-noughties that kind of reflected on the anguish of being past cool. But not because that didn't be an accountant for Raytheon, they couldn't do it. You hear that, James?
Still sour about the LCD sound system revelations.
Broke my heart and broke my balls.
So on the back of the Gigantic Pixies iPad advert, she was able to make Stranger in the Alps. So we're a new feature this week. Yet to give it a good name.
Undercover of Darkness.
Undercover. Undercover.
I think someone does that already.
Undercover.
There's already a song called Undercover of Darkness.
Right.
But they don't sing it in the Strokes, Undercover of Darkness.
Yeah. How about Dream Sleeves?
What? Sounds like a fanny that you fuck in the night.
A dream sleeve.
Jesus Christ. I'm picturing my dream sleeve. Stop picturing it.
A dream sleeve would be a good name for a male sex toy. Better than fleshlight.
Yeah, you're right there.
A dream sleeve. Who called it fleshlights and not a dream sleeve?
Love Honey, if you're out there.
Love Honey came to my friend's show.
I know they did. Why are they not sponsoring
And they told me
this
they were going to
podcast?
bring me a double-ended dildo as a gift, and then they did. I'm still waiting on that double-ended dildo.
Still waiting on it.
Still waiting. Why am I still waiting? I think it's some 41 drop sack. So this feature's called Dream Sleeves.
It's not called Dream Sleeves. It's
We
called...
look at the art of the album art and we decide if it's a good or fart.
I hate it. Undercover
Undercover
of Darkness. This is a cover. It's by a lady called Angela Dean, who's known for... Basically, she takes vintage photographs and then paints ghosts over the top of them. So kind of...
Phoebe Bridgers is, pardon the phrase, a bit of a spooky bitch, right?
She's so spooky and I love it. She's got white hair like a witch.
Yep. She wears the skeleton onesies.
Dresses like a skeleton, just like my Russian flatmate.
Yep. And
like the Kaiser Chiefs. They did that in the video for Every Day I Love You Less and Less.
they did. Every day I love you less and less. Every day I love you less and less. Ricky, when I find out you're a secret posho. So this is a childhood picture of Phoebe that they've done that that ghosty thing
I
too.
love the rainbow coming out the top of her head.
I think it really does a good job of like reflecting the music of the album, because it is that sort of like, it's like we already said, it's a spooky country. And I mean, how more spooky country can you get than a ghost standing in what looks like a farm with a dog behind her?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. It's kind of speaks to the death of the person you used to be, the lost innocence of growing up and shagging people.
Yeah, and there's a dog.
And there's a dog as well, which is nice.
Yeah. The name Stranger in the Alps comes from a hilarious TV editing hatchet job done on the film The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, so there's a bit in The Big Lebowski where Walter Sobchak and the dude confront a teenager who they suspect has broken into their car, which had a briefcase in it containing millions of dollars.
This is what happens, Larry. This is what happens when
You see
you
what happens?
fuck a stranger in the ass.
You see what happens? This is what happens when you fight. And they go out and they smash up a car. Turns out it doesn't belong to the wee guy.
Great scene. Hilarious scene.
Really funny. But if you're watching that on TV pre-Watershed, and I don't even think they have the Watershed in America, they just have, you can't swear like that on TV. And the airplane version as well, in case there's like a 9-year-old sitting next to you on the plane, you got the captions on. They don't want to be reading all this effing and jeffing, so they have a kind of redubbed version. What's it called? ADR, where they go in and they put a clean version in, but it's quite difficult.
ADR, a dick rider.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it stands for. But I don't know the real answer, so we'll just go with that. And they put in a kind of censored version, so instead of going, "You see what happens, Larry, you see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass," they changed it to, "You see what happens. You see what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps."
This is what happens, Larry, when you find a stranger in the Alps.
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps? That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And the thing is that the actors were told they had to redub it, so they kind of purposely did a silly version, just like, let's have fun with it. So the funnier line is the next line, where it says, "This is what happens, Larry, when you feed a soldier scrambled eggs." So this album could have potentially been called "Feed a Soldier Scrambled Eggs."
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was reading about it. And
Alternative name for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Also,
what a film, by the way.
I've been eating a lot of scrambled eggs, man.
See that room they all meet in that film?
Yeah.
It's a good place to record the podcast.
It's okay. Sorry, Ian. We're moving to the Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy set. We're going to get Phoebe's dad to rebuild it. I think it's a good. I think it's a cool. That's like a fun. This kind of speaks to the funniness of Phoebe Bridgers and the sort of lightness of like, yeah, I'll name it after that funny thing from a Coen Brothers movie. That's like I think it sums up her and her music and the album and her personality quite well.
It's a movie reference for the weeps.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And it's the sort of thing. It's like when you find out that Childish Gambino chose his rap name using a Wu-Tang Clan name generator.
That is another bad name of something, yeah. But this, I think, is a good name because it kind of speaks to the... If you don't know the reference, it's like, oh, wow, A Stranger in the Alps. That's so kind of arch. But then you're like, oh, it's actually a film. And also, almost the entirety of Big Lebowski was filmed in Pasadena, which is where this artist grew up. Yeah.
I reckon one day we should enjoy a movie and we choose a movie with a great soundtrack like The Big Lebowski. Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in. Great. That scene as well, also used as a sample in a Plan B bootleg album, which
you love Plan B.
I love this album, the bootleg album where he laced like his album that he released it with all the original samples, which you can't release properly. Oh. It's all on YouTube though. Yeah. He's got a song called "Mama Loves a Crackhead," and he samples Hall & Oates, and it starts with him going, "This is what happens, Larry. This is what when you fuck a stranger in the ass." Because then he says, "All right, it's time for Plan B." Oh. So that's two good musical references.
Yeah, you love Plan B.
You should listen to that album. That album's great. It's got Charmaine.
Maybe we'll do it and enjoy an album. We can enjoy an EP.
Enjoy an EP. Okay, so the album, Stranger in the Alps.
So here's why I think it fucking broke through. 2017, that is when the Harvey Weinstein allegations and accusations. Let's not call them allegations and accusations. That sounds like I don't believe them.
Yeah, the things that Harvey Weinstein did came to light.
That is when Harvey Weinstein's crimes became known by the world at large. Not just in the credits for Lord of the Rings, where they make when Harvey Weinstein's names come up, they put an ugly troll illustration in as a little joke.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's quite cool. It's quite funny. It's quite cool. Because it looks like him as well. He's got that horrible, when he comes out of the court and he's like, oh, I'm all fucking sick. Now that people know I'm a fucking beast. So that was the kind of Me Too movement. And then not the title track, but I think the big hit on this record is Motion Sickness. And that was about power structures within music and, try to work with guys. And then they start being like, oh yeah, you come in the studio. And then next thing you know, you're in a sexual relationship that's like imbalanced. And then 2 years later, Ryan Adams got Me Too'd, and then she was like, yeah, it's about him. A lot of people worked out that it was about him, but I think that's just, there's a lot of great music gets made all the time, and you never really hear about it, but then a new artist comes through, and I think it's because her story kind of just coincided with the zeitgeist at large. Do you think that's reductive?
Maybe a little bit, because I don't know how known it was. I think it was only after I hadn't heard of prior to the Ryan Adams revelations. She just said it was about a bad ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think it was probably. It's hard to say. It's really like that's a really difficult theory to be able to lay any truth down to, because it's like how, we can't know whether or not this would have been a big record were it not for a better focus on women in the music industry.
You called me a liar.
The thing is that it is also like a brilliantly produced album. Like there's
wonderful, but there's
loads of good songs on it, and her songwriting, like I think it's more speaks to a new, like sort of somewhere in between young millennials, like elder Gen Zs, of like angst pop, where songs about being depressed and sad but finding it funny, and how the world is going to shit and you're expected to like live in it, and you can do that and just go, yeah, but it's I don't care. It's fun to be sad.
Yeah. Are you a big? You ever been into Ryan Adams?
No. No, it always annoyed me that his name was Ryan Adams, and there's also Brian Adams, and I'm like,
That's so crazy. Isn't
one
it?
of you have a different name. There's
Yeah.
fucking. If there was a guy called Mr. MacArthur Boyd, I'd be like, that's
There
not.
is.
Well, he needs to fucking sort it out.
I hate him.
Yeah.
He's based in Malaysia, and he's just doing the circuit over there. The solo shows
He
and
is
stuff.
cruel.
People show up,
He
big
is
enjoying
crushing.
album fans.
He is crushing. His last show was called Oh Yes, and it was good, man. There's a
Yeah,
there's a really good-
This
yeah.
is his catchphrase.
he had a
after
really
every
good bit
joke,
about granola.
Makes me sick. Makes me fucking
But
sick.
I've never, Ryan Adams or Brian Adams. I haven't really listened to much.
Brian Adams is great, man.
Yeah.
It was the summer of '69.
Yeah, I've never. Summer of 16/9. That was it's a song about ratios on televisions. 16.9. Thank you, Ian, for giggling at that, giving it the credit it deserves. Not enough jokes in this podcast about aspect ratios for my liking. We are a video podcast now, so we want to appeal to the aspect ratio.
Ratio this.
ratio this. Were you a big Ryan Adams fan?
No, I'm a big fan of the writer Chuck Klosterman. He had a kind of chapter about him, and it kind of came across that he was the kind of like American Pete Doherty to an extent,
Right.
and that he was always getting drunk and fighting journalists and being on heroin.
I don't really want to give too much time to Ryan Adams in the episode because it's like this is an episode about Phoebe Bridgers, and he was someone who has emotionally abused her and several other women. So like I feel like
Big time.
it's almost not cool to give him too much attention. But the song "Emotional Motion Sickness" is about him and about there were 20 years difference between them when they were dating, and then she his ex-wife as well was a musician who stopped making music after getting with Ryan Adams. It seems like he was like an emotionally controlling freak. So official Enjoy an Album stance on Ryan Adams is fuck you, bro.
I thought we were going to do stereo thumbs down.
That's a boohoo from me.
Only thing I'm going to say is he does an amazing cover of Wasted Years by Iron Maiden.
Okay, we're going to cut that from the
Other
pod.
than
We're
that-
not going to give him any recognition.
fair But
what
other
a
than that,
great
he's a
song
piece
though.
of shit.
I have emotional motion sickness. Somebody pull the window
Pull the window down? Is that what you do with windows?
Yeah, I'll pull a window down.
On a
Yeah.
car?
Yeah, or it might not be a car. Emotional motion. I get motion sickness in a boat. You can pull a window down on a boat.
Come on. Pull the window down?
What is it? Wind the window
Roll,
down?
wait.
Roll. What, you wind the window down?
What, you know, fucking Fiat Golf in 1998?
You what? Look, you're pretending to know about cars.
Ain't about cars.
What
man.
is a Fiat Golf in
Yeah.
1999?
It's like when they had the handle that you roll.
Yeah, but then
Just
you don't
roll the
roll
window down.
But you don't roll windows down anymore.
Roll the window
You actually you push the window down
No,
now
but-
because there's a button.
that rolls it.
It doesn't roll it, does it? You think the glass rolls inside the car?
It's like a fruit winder.
It's like my tongue when I see a sexy woman.
Like an anteater's tongue.
Somebody roll that horny man's tongue back in.
Please.
Great song, great catchy song. It's the most sort of poppy, upbeat song of the album. It's the
Yeah.
most fun song.
I think she's very fair as well about like how awful it was, and like the first line is, "I hate you for what you did, but I miss you like a little kid."
Yeah, that
Very
idea
nice.
of like breaking up with someone bad, but still missing them.
I tried to find a unhinged YouTube comment of the week about this song, but there's so many people that were like, "Oh, this song reminds me just word for word about my relationship with my mother," and I'm like, so the bit where she's like, "Why do you sing in an English accent? It's probably too late to change." It's like, that's how your mum was doing, yeah? Singing in an English accent? You idiot.
That song, that lyric is also word for word taken by Black Country New Road. In
they
there,
really?
Yeah. Oh, why do you sing in an English accent? It's probably too late to change it now.
Don't slag him off. He's pure mentally ill.
That's just how he sings. And as it's obviously it's a tribute to Phoebe Bridgers that he took the line. It was worth mentioning. And also, we don't go back into I think episode 3 of the podcast to hear you fucking drag on that dude for a good 5 minutes. So
I have changed my mind on Black Country New Road, and I show respect
Their the last album's really good.
Vocals for them.
Also, I think it's wild to listen to the song Emotional Motion Sickness and be like, I relate so much with this, because one of the interesting things about Phoebe Bridgers' lyrics is that they are so personal to the point of like complete unrelatability. Like in Emotional Motion Sickness, there's the line, "You gave me $1,500 to see your hypnotherapist. I only went once," which is such a cool like storytelling lyric.
Fell on hard times,
but like,
you let it slide.
Who's watching this going, "Oh my god, my boyfriend gave me $1,500 to go see his hypnotherapist, but I went twice."
You ever been to a hypnotherapist?
What? What do you think?
I went.
What?
I tried to get therapy, but I was steaming.
Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes.
well,
you are
yeah.
no longer depressed.
I was out on a night out, and one of my pals was like, "You need to go to therapy, man. You fucked up." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was drunk on my phone, and I just googled Glasgow therapy, and the first thing that came up was hypnotherapist. I went like 3 times.
What did they do?
He wasn't a very good therapist.
Well-
He kept trying to hypnotize me. Like, get the fuck away from me! I can't.
They had a big fucking pocket watch.
Yeah, he kept doing the drowsy hypno for Pokemon thing with a coin.
You were getting very
I was like,
sleepy.
fucking listen to me talk about my day, I can't. You know what I mean? Swatting his hand away, his big dangly coin.
Did he have a little pointy goatee?
No, but he did have a fedora.
Oh, okay, all right. I have an unhinged.
So I have. I mean, there's so many of his YouTube comments that are like, "Oh, this song reminds me of being abused by my teacher," or, my teacher would stick a hand in my pants and all this type of stuff.
Yeah,
And like, "Oh, this
Keep it
reminds
light.
me of my."
Comedy podcast. Jesus Christ.
This song reminds me of getting abused by my cousin or like my mom and all this type of stuff. But it's like, it's not about that. It's about Ryan Adams.
Yeah.
It's just like you try. It's that MIA song isn't necessarily just about the genocide of the Tamil people.
We're not getting into that.
No,
again.
we're not going to get to that.
What, the darkest day of this podcast.
If that one wasn't conducted over Zoom, you would have jabbed me in the throat.
Deservedly so.
Deservedly so.
A quick fucking.
I found a cringe YouTube comment of the week. A guy called Robert Keach.
Oh,
do you know
Keach.
And he's keeching his pants about this. I'll tell you that much. What's this? What's the first song again? It's called.
It is called Smoke Signals.
Yeah. And this guy's commenting under the video for that, and he says, "Do you know how it talks about like, oh, Lemmy died and Bowie died and how soon is now and all this type of stuff?" He's like, "I'm feeling quite proud to be British, knowing that 2 of the influencers mentioned this song are British." What?
Yeah. Why do you?
Why have you said that?
Yeah. Why would you?
Why do you think that?
Yeah. That's,
You're not proud that Bowie or Morrissey or Lemmy are British. You're proud that they got mentioned in a song by Phoebe Bridgers 4 years before the comment.
Yeah.
That's why you're proud to be British when people are dying.
There's
The way we treat immigrants.
there's
in this
children
country.
starving in the world.
There's migrants. Jesus.
There's migrants.
No, but there's migrants.
There are. Full stop.
Being firebombed in the beaches in Margate and all this type of
Yeah,
stuff.
by Pete Doherty's Big Breakfast. He's putting beans in the migrant cannon. He never ate it at all. He fucking fired it
Didn't
into the
throw
sea.
it at anybody. But I just think it's fucked up, man.
I found not an unhinged YouTube comment, but a wistful YouTube comment of the week.
YouTube comment of the week.
This is actually on the video to Gigantic by Pixies.
No, that's not related to this.
Well, it is. She was in an advert where she sang Gigantic. We've already spoken about it.
Is it a comment for the advert or is it a comment for the original song?
It doesn't make much difference.
Okay.
It says, I was first introduced to Pixies by a French girl at university
Yes.
who I was desperately in love with.
Hairy armpits, man. Yeah.
But she was in love with a guy from Galicia. At least I have the Pixies to remember her by. She was so special.
That's cute.
Wistful, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's funny, it's a song about big dicks, and it's like, this reminds me of a French chick I used to fucking wank over. Did you say hairy armpits?
No.
Okay, I imagine that.
That's your own.
The song Smoke Signals, I love the Twin Peaks style bass line is what I've written down in my line. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
You like Angelo Badalamenti's theme for the...
I've got that on vinyl.
You got it, wow.
Yeah, man, absolutely love
Just
it.
in case.
It's got the Nightingale on that record as well. Fucking, we should do it. We should do it. Enjoy
know-
Twin Peaks. Bom, 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 bom. With the fucking
could do that
factory,
album,
the factory machinery. Fucking
There's one really bad
chomping away.
song on the Twin Peaks. Do you know the one where they're getting up to no good? And it's like,
Ba-dum, ba-dum, boom, ba-dum, 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 boom, ba-dum, ba-ba-dum.
yeah, that song fucking sucks, man. Angelo Badalamenti, you done a fucking Angelo Badam a good job with that one.
Angelo got roasted.
Take that, Angie baby.
What do you think of the song Demi Moore? It's like the saddest, horny song I've ever heard. It's like the song is Phoebe Bridgers is in bed asking someone for nudes. And at first she's like, oh, just a little bit sexy, Phoebe, asking for nudes. But then she's like, I want to see your naked body because I'm so lonely. And
that's
as we've said on this podcast before, horniness, the sad cousin to loneliness.
Yeah.
And I love the line in that, I don't want to be stoned anymore. You know the feeling when you're high?
Oh, there's nothing worse than, do you know that way when your face gets pure heavy?
Yeah.
That's what I hate. Your face
Heavy face, man.
It feels like
Fuck.
somebody's just pressing on your face a wee bit like that.
And you're like,
You're like, get off me.
I don't want to be stoned anymore.
I don't want to be hypnotized, man. You know?
I don't want to be hypnotized anymore. Yeah, man, that's fucking, that's hard going.
And it's just, you know, I think a lot of time the nudes thing is a loneliness, man. You know, you just want to know that you're loved. And you want somebody to express that love.
Phoebe Bridgers is not someone, you know, she's not ashamed of her the physical form.
I don't want to get it, man.
She's posted nudes on a number of occasions.
I was trying to do research
Uh-oh.
for this very podcast last night on reddit.com.
And loneliness's dirty cousin
It's Reddit.
doth turn up. Yeah, well, there's the cool picture. It's like a classic picture of like someone in a tux, and then they're standing the mirror behind them, and it turns out there's no back to the tux, and they're wearing like a G-string. She used that to advertise. And there's a few topless.
Don't talk about it.
Okay.
We agreed we were going to talk about it.
I don't want to be horny anymore. The song Funeral.
Somebody's going to come in here with a big club.
The song Funeral is the song that I cried at live. It's just sad. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Singing at a funeral tomorrow
For a boy who's a year older than me.
for a boy who was a year older than me. I spoke to his dad. It makes me so sad. Jesus Christ, I'm so blue all the time. And that's just how I feel. Always have and always will. Me too, Phoebe. Me too. So
But,
blue.
you know, I'm trying to look up facts about Phoebe Bridgers on Reddit.
Yeah.
Type in Reddit in the search engine. First 5 things that comes up: naked celebs, NSFW celebs. All these pictures. I'm just trying to learn.
Just trying to research.
3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just trying to learn. Sitting on my couch by myself with my skirts off.
Jesus Christ, I'm so horny all the time.
Always have and I always will.
Yeah, that's the if we're talking about the sort of the album oscillating between sort of like funny, interesting, and sad, then that is the real dark point of the album. And those are the first few songs. I mean, it goes Smoke Signals, Motion Sickness, Demi Moore Funeral, I think, or maybe Demi Moore Funeral the other way around. But like I will say this for the album, I do think it's quite top heavy. I think the first half of the album, pre record flip,
Yeah.
is probably stronger.
I think if you were, if you had this on cassette, one side of the cassette would get. But that's smart, man. Always always do that. It's stupid when people don't do that.
But Phoebe Bridgers' second album, Punisher,
The last track's really good.
This is the end.
This is the end.
Or I don't think it is called This is the End. I think that's how it ends. But maybe. But that song I absolutely love, and I know it's not this album, but just want to speak about it briefly. It has that amazing thing that Radiohead have on the national anthem, that Kanye has on what's the ding. Runaway, where the song becomes another song sort of halfway through, and then it's just a mesh of like loud noise becomes almost like noise, just fucking noise.
To quote a piece of paper that described types of music, it would be crescendo.
Yeah, and it's like it really fucking bangs. So I absolutely love that song. I think it's best. I think that probably sounds my favorite Phoebe Bridgers song, which is why I want to give it mention here. Punisher is also a really good album. I think I prefer Punisher to this album, to be honest.
Okay, we're running late. Should we skip? Tattoo Woohoo?
No, I think we've got time for Tattoo Woohoo. I think there'll be riots in the streets.
Two guys reviewing tattoos. We're gonna Google image search and then we choose if it's tattoo woohoo or tattoo boohoo. We're judging the ink, yeah, that's what we do. Do full sleeve up.
Oh,
Come on in, Foggy. You've been doing it so well, and then we've been practicing this for weeks.
Face tat.
Full sleeve up.
Face tat.
Big skull up.
Wing back.
You picked it as that. Is it bad or just fine? A dragon or a
Skull.
pretentious up?
No.
You cannot hide, and we will decide if it's tattoo woohoo or tattoo boo hoo hoo hoo. Oh yeah. There's another who.
Get out of it.
Get rid of it, you Nazi. Right. So aye.
Let's see. Phoebe Bridgers, she kind of keeps her tattoos hidden. She's got a similar thing to me where I keep my tattoos.
T-shirt on. You can see all your tattoos.
So, if you let me finish my fucking sentence, what I was saying was I keep my tattoos in places where they are easy to hide if I so wish. So, if I put on a jacket or a hoodie, suddenly I am tattooless. You understand? So, I don't have, for example, tattoos on my neck where you wouldn't be able to hide it. Or on my hands.
That's why you don't have neck tattoos.
That's the main reason. I would love to have a big tattooed neck.
Okay.
Let's look at Phoebe Bridgers. This is quite hard to get pictures of them.
I found a website that was like Phoebe Bridgers 7 hidden tattoos, and then I opened the link today. I just sent the link because I thought that'll cover it, but then there was only one, and it's tight. It's like it's a match. It's a lip match.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the Frightened Rabbit song, "Lit match to a wood pile high," which is about like.
She's also got 3 chalices.
3 chalices. Do you think that could be a Bloodborne reference? The Pthumerian chalice rituals?
Do I think Phoebe Bridgers is a Bloodborne fan?
What else could it be?
I can't imagine. I don't. Not to be like disrespectful or disregard the idea of Phoebe Bridgers being a hardcore gamer.
Liam's a big gamer-gator. He doesn't believe in feminism. And
I think she would like a game like Animal Crossing, actually.
I think she'd love Bloodborne.
You know what? I think Phoebe Bridgers would play The Sims and exclusively as that goth family.
Bella Goth and Mortimer Goth.
Yeah. I can imagine her putting a Sims reference into a song.
Yeah, I think she's the type of person who would play The Sims, make a swimming pool, and then delete
and sing about it. Deleting ladders on The Sims and watching Bella Goth perish.
My husband in The Sims ran away with the clown who shows up when you buy the anxious clown painting. Stuff like that.
Crying cause The Sims DLC won't download.
I want a dog. That's Pets Unleashed.
Okay, so match first.
Woohoo for me if it's a Frightened Rabbit reference. If it's a reference to just she doesn't like using lighters, then boohoo.
I think it's a woohoo. A lit match,
woohoo,
I think is cool. Yeah, that's good. The chalices,
I love Bloodborne. Woohoo for me.
Yeah, that's a woohoo as well. They're cool. And again, probably, I was about to say similar to my tattoos, they're just like disconnected.
When you looked at a part of your arm that didn't have any tattoos on it.
That's because they're so well hidden, as was my point. But, the eggs up here, they're sort of similar, black and white, spaced out. Yeah, it's a woohoo. Phoebe, good on you. Hen.
Very cool, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, the whole album is kind of spooky gothic, and it has the in Georgia. It has the what's the name of the?
That was the earliest song she wrote. Theremin.
It's got a theremin in it, yeah. Which is like classic spooky. I mean, it literally was used as spooky sound effects in old movies,
and also in Midsummer Murders.
And the Beach Boys.
Midsummer Murders and the Beach Boys. The two spookiest things you can ever imagine.
Fuck, man. You ever seen Brian Wilson on a bad day? That's spooky.
I would love to see D.I. Barnaby just solve the question of Brian Wilson being a big pedo.
What, was he a big pedo?
Come on, we done the episode.
I don't remember being a pedo.
He was married to a 14-year-old.
Oh, that's pretty peed. That's pretty
Yes, me,
I've
yeah.
got fucking motion sickness thinking about it. What's your...
Did you enjoy an album, Liam?
Yeah, I mean, I already knew the album pretty well. It was good to go back into it. As I said, I think it's pretty top heavy. I think the first half is better than the second half. I think the second album is better than the first album. I love.
This is top heavy. Oh, it's not top heavy. That's very balanced.
Yeah, the collaborations I love. You've got. I mean, we didn't even talk about what Would You Rather has Conor Oberst on this album.
Oh yeah.
And I love Better Community Oblivion Center the other way around. It's a stupid name, but it's a good album.
Name. It's cool.
And yeah, I think Phoebe. Look, I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit for some reason that I'm a bit of a Phoebe Bridgers stan.
Why is that? You think people will make fun of you?
Yeah, I think it's I think it's a little bit cucked to be a 33-year-old man and love Phoebe Bridgers.
Always have and always will.
Jesus Christ, I'm so cucked all the time.
Well, I'm a big Bright Eyes. I mean, their album, I'm Wide Awake It's Mornings, just Jesus. You know how I was talking about things being just about 9/11 for no reason?
Yep.
That one is actually about 9/11.
Yeah. This album is also about 9/11. We've just decided.
If you consider David Bowie and Lemmy dying to be the 9/11 of LA, which I certainly do.
I love Scott Street as well as a song on this album. I really love.
There's a great bit where the drums come in.
Yep.
And then she goes.
Gling, 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 gling.
Well,
Bicycle
she
bell.
just says, "Oh, I've got it here. How's playing the drums?"
Yeah.
And like the drummer comes in. And I love it when songs mention the drums. Like,
Gling, 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 gling.
what's that?
Well, there's the sound effects at the end of that episode. At the end of that song, so there's a bicycle bell and then there's like a foghorn. Honk, honk, honk.
Not to talk
Very
about
cool.
Frightened Rabbit all the time, but there's a great song by Frightened Rabbit called "Skip the Youth," and it's about fucking wanting to kill yourself or something. And then, I mean, I'm not being flippant. The guy did kill himself, but he was singing about wanting to kill himself a lot. And there's a bit where he goes, "I hear drums, the worn-out beat of a tired heart." And when he says, "I hear drums," the fucking drums come in, and you're like, "That's what I'm talking about."
Yeah, man. You ever heard Memphis Soul Stew?
I think so.
Every instrument is introduced as if it's they're making a big stew.
Oh,
So it's like, and now let's add a little bit of drums, like that. It's cool.
speaking about talking about songs that are inspired by the conversation or having inspired conversation about songs, I feel like now it's time for the Enjoy an Album playlist, which you can access at. You can access it.
You can accent that.
You can access that at enjoyaplaylist.st. And then what we would do is every week we add 2 songs each to the playlist, one of which from the album we're discussing, one of which inspired by the conversation about the album. What songs are you going to pick this week, Liam?
Well, let's have a discussion about this because I think we probably both agree that Motion Sickness should be on there.
I have motion sickness about the idea of not putting it on.
Yeah, so really we've got to make an agreement about our joint second choice. I've written Scott Street. I think that's my most favourite song that's on there. But, you know, I'm open for debate if you ever...
I mean, you cried at funeral, you're not sticking that on.
But it's a playlist, man. You know, the idea of the playlist is that you're going to put it on like I've got a 6-hour car journey. Let's just back on this playlist. And then funeral comes on. Singing at a funeral tomorrow. As you drive
What
by
if it's
T-Base services, you'll cry yourself into a ditch.
But then you see the ducks at TB and it'll cheer you up.
That's true. But, I mean, look, I'll put funeral on if you want. But it's sad.
It's good though.
It is good. Sad but good. The Phoebe Bridgers story. Sad but good.
It's my favourite Metallica song. Sad but good.
Okay, Funeral and Motion Sickness from the albums. Inspired by a conversation, a secondary choice to add to the ongoing Enjoy an Album playlist. Christopher, please.
I'm going to stick on Motion Sickness by Phoebe Bridgers.
What?
Wait, we do the next bit now?
Yeah, well, why would I repeat the question?
Good question there.
Did you enjoy an album? Do you think Phoebe Bridgers is posh?
I'm going to stick on the Twin Peaks theme by Angelo.
Yes! I nearly put that on.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good that you put that on because I decided not to, but fuck. Boom. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
The backwards talking.
Yeah.
A tiny person.
Don't call my tiny.
Sorry, I meant to say little. The song I'm going to put on is Didn't Know What I Was In For from Better Community Oblivion Center.
You kidding?
No?
No, that's beautiful. I was going to put on Lua by Bright Eyes because when Conor Oberst tours that live recently, she has been duetting with him, replacing Emmylou Harris, who done it on the original album. But I already put that on the playlist a long time ago because I love it.
I love it. So those are the choices for the playlist. I think that's a wrap.
Did you enjoy an album? I enjoyed the album.
Hell yes, I enjoyed an album. Did you
know
enjoy
what?
an album?
Yeah, I enjoyed an album. Do you know what album we're going to enjoy next week or not enjoy next week?
Let's hear it.
Toxicity by System of a Down.
Wake up!
Yeah, or go to sleep so that you can wake up next week. Also, listen to it while you're asleep so as we can talk about it.
Thank you for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed the episode, do us a huge favor. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go over to YouTube and give us a like because it helps for the algorithm purposes. And comment, what albums would you like us to cover in the future? What did you think of Stranger in the Alps by Phoebe Bridgers? What any other questions you have for the two boys, particularly Ian, who we don't know anything about yet, and we're wanting to get some more information about.
He was talking about a new metal band called Stabbing Westward today, and I'm excited to get into that. Oh, he's put his head in his hands because of Bannister!
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week for System of a Down.
Enjoy.